Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to look at what it actually takes to reach the absolute pinnacle of network design. Think about it. If you've ever walked into a massive, sprawling hospital, a packed sports stadium, or a giant corporate campus and wondered, who on earth drew up the complex network blueprints before a single cable was ever plugged in? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we are architecting your career by exploring the Aruba Certified Design Expert, or ACDX, blueprint. We're going to map out exactly what this elite credential is, what the honestly grueling exam looks like, and, most importantly, the incredible career rewards waiting for you at the top. So, first things first, let's get a clear definition out there. The ACDX is the Aruba Certified Design Expert certification. This is offered by HPE Aruba Networking, and let me be clear, it is their absolute peak credential in the network design track. This isn't just about memorizing basic command lines, not at all. It validates a professional's ability to design massive, highly complex enterprise wired and wireless networks. We're talking LAN, WLAN, security, mobility, and some seriously intricate RF planning. The crucial distinction here is that the ACDX separates those who configure from those who design. It elevates you from day-to-day administration. Actually, scratch that. It completely removes you from the day-to-day and drops you right into high-level network architecture. Here is our blueprint for this explainer. First, what exactly is the ACDX? Second, we'll go inside the expert exam. Third, we'll map your path to certification. Fourth, we'll look at career perks and salaries. And finally, is the ACDX worth it? Section 1. What is the ACDX? Think about the core difference between where you might be right now and where the ACDX actually takes you. And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. On one side, you have the network administrator. They're incredibly important, right? They configure devices, plug in cables, handle the daily fires. But on the exact opposite side is the network architect. As an ACDX architect, you aren't just maintaining the building. You are drawing the blueprints for the whole thing. You're translating high-level business needs into totally scalable solutions, doing complex radio frequency or RF capacity analysis, and designing massive multi-site infrastructures. Now, you might be wondering, what if my company uses a ton of Microsoft products? Well, even though the ACDX is an HP Aruba certification, it perfectly complements Microsoft technologies. Because let's face it, in today's enterprise environments, you're almost always dealing with hybrid setups. This certification proves you can architect solutions that seamlessly integrate with things like Microsoft Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Entra ID, and really complex network access control and enterprise security solutions. It proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you can design for the reality of modern, mixed-vendor IT environments. All right, moving right along to Section 2, inside the expert exam. There is a massive leap between the two steps of this process. Step 1 is the written exam. This tests your foundational theory, network design fundamentals, security, RF architecture. It's a standard test, generally costing between $150 and $250. But Step 2 is where it gets incredibly real. You have to pass Step 1 to even attempt the practical exam. This is a rigorous, real-world assessment where you are handed complex customer requirements and told to architect the whole thing from scratch. You have to create the network architecture, do the RF planning, and generate the bill of materials. It's all done under super strict proctoring and jumps significantly in price, costing anywhere from $800 to over $1,500. So the crucial point is this number right here, $1,500 plus. And yeah, for sure, that price tag is enough to make anyone sweat a little bit. The ACDX is absolutely not a certification you casually cram for over a weekend. It requires a serious, high-stakes investment of your time, your professional energy, and your wallet. You have to be fully 100% prepared before you sit for that practical scenario. Section 3, your path to certification. You know, Aruba actually recommends that candidates have 3 to 5 years of solid enterprise networking experience before even looking at the expert level. In year 1, you're building your fundamentals with something like a CCNA and your Aruba Design Associate, or ACDA certification. By years 2 and 3, you're moving up to the professional level. And finally, beyond year 3, you've hopefully gained the hands-on enterprise architecture and RF design experience required to even tackle the ACDX. This whole timeline builds into a really specific 5-phase preparation path. Phase 1 is your TCP/IP, routing, and switching fundamentals. Phase 2 dives deep into Aruba tech like ClearPass and Airwave. Phase 3 focuses entirely on RF design and signal propagation. Phase 4 is practical. We're talking designing for crazy high-density networks like hospitals and stadiums. And finally, Phase 5 relies heavily on official resources. You absolutely must study the Aruba Validated Reference Designs, or VRDs. Those are essentially the official rulebooks for exactly how Aruba expects these networks to be built.
Section 4, Career Perks and Salaries.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible global earning potential for this elite certification. Because these solutions are deployed in massive Fortune 500 companies, government organizations, and major healthcare institutions, the demand for this skill set is just huge. In the USA, annual salaries can easily reach $180,000 and beyond. In Canada, you're looking at up to $150,000, and in Europe, up to €140,000. I mean, these are premier salaries for truly premier architects.
Let this top-tier USA salary sink in for just a second. $180,000 plus. When we were looking at that $1,500 cost of the practical exam just a few moments ago, it might have seemed a bit steep, but when you compare it to the return on investment staring right at you, it becomes incredibly clear why dedicated networking professionals put themselves through the total ringer of the ACDX.
Beyond just the salary, the ACDX unlocks really high-level job titles across the globe. You aren't just applying for standard run-of-the-mill engineering roles anymore. You're stepping into senior network architect, senior solutions architect, and expert pre-sales architect positions. You effectively become the go-to expert consultant that massive enterprises rely on to design their multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects.
Furthermore, getting this credential literally future-proofs your career. The networking industry isn't exactly standing still, right? As we look to 2026 and way beyond, organizations are investing super heavily in wireless-first and cloud-managed infrastructure. The ACDX proves you have the architectural mindset to handle the rollout of Wi-Fi 7, AI-powered network operations, zero-trust security models, and SD-WAN campus automation. You're positioning yourself perfectly for the actual future of enterprise IT.
Section 5. Is the ACDX worth it?
If you check these boxes, the ACDX is absolutely worth it. Pursue this if your target is specifically network architect or high-level consulting roles. It's ideal if you already work extensively with Aruba technologies and have real hands-on enterprise experience. If you want that expert-level recognition that completely separates you from the pack, this is your path, no question.
But let's keep it totally real with you. The ACDX is not for everyone. If you are completely new to networking, have zero hands-on Aruba experience, or still need to get your foundational certifications done, you need to hold off. Do not try to jump straight to the penthouse. It will literally only lead to a highly expensive failed practical exam. Start with your CCNA, get your Aruba associate, and work your way up the building one floor at a time.
Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with today. We have seen the blueprint, the totally grueling exam, and the massive rewards waiting at the top. The path is clearly laid out in front of us. So the only question left is, are you ready to architect your career? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take that next step in your learning journey.
Thanks for watching.